Screw it. We're going to do this late at night. I just had a big family weekend, a lot of things going on. And I decided to do a live earlier today, and then family stuff just took over all weekend, and I never got to it, guys. I just never got to the live. So I said, I can either do it tomorrow, I can do a recording tonight and release it in the morning, or I can see how many of you crazy people are up late at night and want to have a little bit of fun late at night. I don't know. Those who aren't here, you can always hit it up tomorrow. You can always have fun. But this is the live. I've wanted to do this one since Friday, and it was a family weekend, guys. But you guys are pouring in. Crazy people are up late at night in Bears Nation. Kevin Copnell, Hitman, Antmus, Richard Colby, Jacob Hondeman, Diedrich Butler, Ryan Swicky, Baloney. I am Foutmusk. Anyway, see, there's a lot of you guys. So thanks for tuning in, guys. This is a lot of fun. I want to share this, though, because to me, this is one of the biggest indicators the Bears are going to do with I don't know who's heard this, so we're just going to act like you guys don't know this information, but it was on Friday on the 21st that this happened, and it was Michigan's Pro Day. And so the question is, does Michigan's Pro Day indicate what the Bears are going to do at number 10? Well, there's a lot of time between now and the draft. The Bears have a lot of work to do. They're going to have a lot of top 30 visits. They're going to have a lot of pro days still. We're almost done with pro days, actually. We're 1 week out from pro days being done, and most of the major ones are done. Georgia was an important one. I think that showed some of the Bears' hand, what they might be doing. Michigan, I think, was more telling, and we'll get into exactly why. So let's go here. Let's just see if I miss anything in the chat here. William Satterfield, Joe M. And you guys are great. Hope I'm not keeping you up. I hope if I'm keeping you up, turn it off. Get your beauty rest. Look at it in the morning. This is not that critical, but I do want to share some of this. So those who don't know, at Michigan's Pro Day, both Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen were there. It's the first time both of them have been there. First one that Ben Johnson's been to, period, for the Pro Days, and it's the first one they were both together at. So it was obviously important. Well, when you look even deeper into that, who might they have been targeting? Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, Josiah Stewart, Will Johnson, Colson Loveland. Those are all some big names that Bears might be targeting at those names, obviously in different rounds. Well, they knew before they even went that Mason Graham would not be testing. They knew that before they went there. Mason Graham weighed in. I think you want to do that because everyone's making a big deal about his weight being under 300 pounds. He's 296 pounds, so he's under 300 pounds. Well, weight fluctuates, especially when you're in hard trading and you want to get in the best shape for the combine. Mason Graham admitted that he was working extra hard for the combine. So he dropped down to 296. You're in the middle of the season. You're eating steak dinners every night. You're doing whatever you need to do. You're still working hard. He said his weight in his interview, he said his playing weight this last year, even though they had him listed at 320, was around 310, 315. So we got to the combine. His weight was 296. Well, now 2 weeks after the combine, 3 weeks, I guess, 3 weeks after the combine, at his pro day, he was 306. So, I mean, it does fluctuate. And he said he doesn't care. He doesn't care what his weight is. He knows how he feels when he's good, when he's in good shape, when he's healthy. And he says he feels healthy. I don't think that's a big deal. Rumors are Mason Graham could drop to 10. I think it's a dream scenario. It would be wonderful, amazing. The Bears would be, run that ticket up as fast as you can. But I don't think that's why the Bears were at the Michigan Pro Day. Will Johnson, another first-round prospect. Possibility at cornerback. You don't know what you're getting with Tyreek Stevenson this year. You don't know what you're going to get. Terrell Smith is a backup. You don't know what you're going to get. Will Johnson, they knew beforehand he would not be testing. He had a hamstring injury. He's going to test on his own on April 14th. So I don't believe they were there for Will Johnson. Kenneth Grant had a hamstring injury before the combine. He still tested at the combine, but he made it a point that I want to test at the pro day and show you guys what I can do. He wanted to run a sub 540 at his pro day. Some clocked him at 507. They say he can run quicker than that. We'll leave that up to some film and some tape, because there's some really neat film on him where he chases some people down, and we'll show some of that here. In fact, let me see if I can pull up one of those right now. The video file, I got those right straight on my computer. I got them ready. So here's the first one. Kenneth Grant. Here's the first fun one. So this is when they had an interception. Kenneth Grant, he didn't just lazily give up on the play. He hustled down and took some defenders out on the way. Hopefully we don't get flagged for this, but watch number 78 right there. Center of your screen. Now he's going to lead the way. Come on, guys. Let's take this. Now he's going to lay number 2 out. Boom. He's hustling the entire play. I friggin' love it. But here's the one everyone knows about. Let's remove this one, and let's add. This is the other fun one. He chases down the running back from Penn State. Right here. I've got all these files on my computer. I just didn't have these completely ready for this one. So there's 78 right there. Look at him. I mean, freaking monster, man. Chasing him down. At that time, this was not this last season. That was the season before. He was 345 pounds during that season. At his peak, he was 360 pounds. He's gotten in better and better shape, and he's 330 pounds now, and he's in pretty freaking good shape. If you haven't seen, let's pull this up too. This is from the combine and from his pro day. All indications are his pro day was freaking realistic. I mean, just unbelievably good. Like everyone's raving about it. So let's pull up his pro day. This is his pro day right here. So check this out. So this is his vert. He jumped a 31-inch vert for a big man. That is freaking ridiculous. He's trucking, and he's a steal. So there, and that's what Michigan put out on him. 40, 31, 27 bench presses as well. They didn't show that. 27 bench presses at 225 is pretty monstrous. So he did a freaking good job. So put this up here, and what was the one thing I wanted to show on here? Oh yeah, let me show you guys here. So we know we didn't interview him at the combine. There's multiple reasons for that. We don't know that we didn't interview him. You only know of 36 of them. There's 60 visits. Nobody asked him the direct question if he met with the Bears. Very easily could have met with the Bears. I will mention one thing, guys. As I've been researching this, I've gone to every single fan base and looked at who's mocking Kenneth Grant. All the way up to 7 at the Jets. They've mocked him. The Panthers have mocked him. The Saints have mocked him. The Niners cut all their defensive tackles. They are clearly planning on taking defensive tackle in the first round of this draft. They've mocked him like crazy. They think they're getting Kenneth Grant at number 11. I know I was in the same boat thinking we could trade back and get him. You get stuck in this group think of mock draft simulators thinking that we can trade down because the simulator says someone is somewhere. Well, he's gone from, 30 to 35 to all the way up to 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 13, 14, 15. You can't trust the simulators. You can't trust them at all. Now, if Mason Graham is lucky enough for us to pick him up at 10, run to the podium. But as I watch more and more tape of Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant together, the two of them truly complement each other, 1A and 1B. And I think they are both very equal value there for very simple reasons. And when you listen to Kenneth Grant at the podium at the combine, they were asking if, he felt bad that he took most of the double teams on and gave Mason Graham more of an opportunity to shine, or even Josiah Stewart at defensive end. And he said, no, when I take someone on, it frees it up for somebody else. And when somebody else takes someone on, it frees it up for me. And there's plenty of tape. If you guys haven't seen the NFL draft prospect profile, I do these for all these different guys for Kenneth Grant. Go watch that one, because there's 2-3 minutes of tape where I've got on him where he is a freaking monster in the middle of the freaking defense. I mean, he would be a monster for us. And we need a ton of help at defensive tackle. Now, Andrew Billings is you guys know my stance already on Andrew Billings. He's a solid rotational defensive tackle. He's a solid, the things I like about him, he gets a decent pressure. He misses too many tackles, and the run defensive grade isn't the best, but he does get a good average depth of tackle as well. And I think for that reason, we're not getting rid of Andrew Billings this year, but he's on the last year of his contract. You need a plan moving forward, and Kenneth Grant is a beautiful plan at that option. But let me show you one thing. So we don't know if we met with him at the combine. You don't know if he's got a top 30 visit yet, but I can almost guarantee we're going to have a top 30 visit for this reason right here. Look at on the bottom left, if you just screenshot his profile, where is he from? Maryville, Indiana. Now, those who don't know, top 30 visits don't count against those that either grew up in or currently reside within 50 miles of the city where they're going to be drafted, or where they're going to have a top 30 visit. If they reside within 50, or where the university they went to. So it's where they grew up or reside, or the university they went to. So University of Illinois, Northwestern. And then he lives in Maryville, Indiana, which I just did it here, a screenshot so you can see 42.3 miles away as the car drives. I think it's actually as the crow flies is how they count it too. So he's even closer than that. So 42 miles in the car, as it shows here, to Chicago, Illinois. So local guy. We know Ryan Poles loves that too. So there's a huge perk. So I would be shocked if the Bears didn't use a top 30 visit. They don't have to use one. It's free. So if they don't bring Kenny Grant into Hallis Hall, I will be absolutely shocked because he doesn't count against the top 30. So he will be one that could be a top 30 without being a top 30. So I will be shocked if they don't. So, but the bigger thing is here that I wanted to get across. Does this show anything by the Bears showing up in full force with Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen there at the Pro Day for Michigan? Absolutely, because they knew Mason Graham wasn't testing. They knew that Will Johnson wasn't testing. They might have shown up for Josiah Stewart, defensive end, solid third-round prospect, maybe even second-round prospect. Maybe they want to, get some eyes on him for the second or third round. But I think the bigger thing there was Kenny Grant. Rub shoulders, talk to his coach, and there are several pictures as well of Ben Johnson talking directly one-on-one with the Michigan coach. So to me, this is a very, very, it's pushing me over the top for Ken. I'm getting very excited for the prospect that is Kenneth Grant. I've liked him for a while. I've been high on him. I always thought we could trade back and get him. But the more you see, like I said, even the Jets, even the Panthers, even the Saints ahead of us, I don't know if they would take Kenneth Grant that high. If Mason Graham is gone, they absolutely might. He's that good of a prospect. But the Niners are all in on Kenneth Grant. And then behind there, every team in the first round at one point or another within this offseason has mocked Kenneth Grant in the first round. It shows you he's a player that's worth taking in the first round. I like the idea of trading back with the first round, but getting someone like Kenneth Grant, man, that would help our defense for years to come. In fact, let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. We'll end this real soon. This was meant to be a late night, just kind of fun. Just a little thing for fun late at night. I didn't honestly know how many people would tune in. We've got over 100 now in the in the chat in watching. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's go to PFF. You guys know I love PFF. Love my PFF. See if I can make it bigger here. Let's take me off screen. We'll make PFF bigger. And then let's go to the Bears really struggled last year with run defense. So I'm going to show the run defense. Who do I have as the three teams here? Oh, this is college. Let's go to NFL. Run defense, 32 teams. And my biggest things here is the average depth of tackle. When I'm looking at run defense, you got to stop them at the line of scrimmage. Stop percentage is big too. So we're going to, you don't want to look at everyone else. That's crazy. So 20% of snaps, so minimum amount of snaps, your average depth of tackle. These guys are absolutely killing it. When you're that low, one yard is, Jalen Carter here at 1 is absolutely phenomenal. You're keeping them within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage on average. Okay. So get down here. Grady Jarrett, really good to see. Big reason the Bears might have picked him up right there. And stop percentage is another big one. Grady Jarrett right there at 9. 9 is actually really, really good. 9% of stops. Stops is on critical downs, third or fourth down, when you stop them from getting a first down. That's what that means for those who don't know. So those two things, and missed tackles. I don't like missed tackles being high. I like them being low. That's why I liked Bobby Brown when I was talking about free agency. Really like that. So let's just look at the Bears last year. So here's our Chicago Bears. And average depth of tackle, Andrew Billings and Byron Cowart. We didn't retain Cowart. This is why I said, why did we keep Chris Williams? We can still cut him. We can still cut Chris Williams with no penalty there. So I like the Andrew Billings is the only one. Now you've added Grady Jarrett. That's 1.4. Gervon Dexter needs to take a step up. You see people comparing Gervon Dexter with Jalen Carter. There's the one significant difference to me between those two guys. There's the one difference. Is Jalen Carter, where he has the huge edge, is 1 yard within the line of scrimmage, and Gervon Dexter still 3.7. But I think adding Andrew Billings, adding Grady Jarrett. And then if you bring in a Kenny Grant, that's really going to help Gervon Dexter as well. And you rotate. Each of these guys, they rotate. The defensive line rotates more than any other position. But missed tackles, Chris Williams, it's terrible. Andrew Billings, still terrible. These are good. These missed tackle rates, 5.9 and 4.5, those are good missed tackle rates. You can accept both of those. And then stop percentage, none of these are good. You want stop percentage. I mean, Byron Coward is, but he's not with the team anymore. Gervon Dexter, 6.4. You want this at least around 7.5 to 10 as your average. Above 10 is phenomenal. 9 is really good. 8's good. 7.5 good. 6.4, you're bordering okay. So I'm okay with that with Gervon. It needs to come up a little bit more. Zach Pickens is in trouble. So this is now if you guys want to go see college and see where these guys stand. It's loading. So let's just look at stop percentage. And I should put the 2025 draft here to narrow it down so you guys can see. Walter Nolan, one of the best at stop percentage, is why I like him so much. Mason Graham. Might have to narrow it down to show it. Thor Griffith, I like a lot. Let's look at let's look here at depth of tackle first. JJ Pegas, you can see some names if you guys like them. There's too many names here, so I'm going to narrow it down to Michigan just so you can see Michigan's pro days, what we're talking about. We're going to wrap this thing up pretty soon. So average depth of tackle, Mason Graham, 0.8, which is really good. Kenneth Grant, 1.8, also pretty decent. Stop percentage, 12 and 7.9. Missed tackle percentage, both of them extremely low. Those are both phenomenal. Obviously, the grades for a reason. So Mason Graham, still priority number 1. You can see on every metric of the run. Then if you go into pressure as well, you can see their pressure grades are also really good. So if we get the pass rush, this has turned into more than I meant to be. I apologize for those. It's not organized. That's kind of why I decided to go live. So I didn't have to create a video tonight. We just go live and talk about Kenny Grant because I'm very excited about the prospect of him. Still loading, still loading, still loading. Sometimes PFF is a little overrun. They have to load for a second here. All right, so pass rush grade, Mason Graham, 81.1, Kenneth Grant, 75.3. I look at this, 27 total pressures on 329 opportunities. That's pretty good. 34 on 338 is even better. And then their win percentage is even better. 13.8% win percentage is huge. So this is why we like Mason Graham so much. But I think Kenneth Grant is probably the more realistic take of what we're going to get. So let's see. I'm rolling with Nolan. I like Walter Nolan too, guys. It may not start, but defense most rotating position, defensive tackle and defensive end. So erase the hate. I'm going to agree with you there. Defensive tackle and defensive end. In fact, let me show you guys that because I think a lot of people ask that question. Let's go back here to PFF, and I'm going to show you guys. Just put that on screen. So let's go back to the Bears, 2024. Let's just go Bears. Bring me back on here. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. You don't buy what number for Billings? I'm not sure what we're talking about here. All right, let's go here. So we're going to go Bears. Regular season defensive interior, not draft here. There, that's what's holding it up. Right, so just the Bears right there. So here's our pass rush grades last year. Well, let's look at snaps more than anything. So you look at the total snaps. We're going to have to go total defense for this. Should do edge too. The difference is you want your offensive line, you want them to stay solid and consistent. If you could have all of them stay healthy the entire year, you're not rotating at all. They're playing every single snap. On the defensive line, You're down in position, you're snapping the ball, and they're giving that burst every single play, and you rotate them in for their specialty too. Sometimes you need more of a running defense, sometimes you need more of a passing defense, more of a pass rush, getting after them. But you look at the total snaps here on all these different guys, 367, 228, 283, 335, 374, 297, 222, 738, 616, 616. So you can see your starters are taking just a few more snaps, but they rotate more than any other position in football. No other position rotates more than defensive tackle and defensive ends. So anyways, add this back to the stage. What do you guys think? Do you think this meant anything when you know that Mason Graham was not testing, Will Campbell was not testing? Limited sample size there, Foster. Limited sample size. You could say the same thing about what's his name? Defensive end who we drafted years ago, Dominic Robinson. Say the same thing about Dominic Robinson too, but just off limited sample size. But anyways, so I think that it really does show some tea leaves that they're very interested in Kenneth Grant, and I would expect him to have if he doesn't show up for a top 30 visit when we live right around the corner from him, when he's he doesn't count as a top 30. I would absolutely be shocked if we don't do a top 30 visit with him. I think they want to dig into him. And at the combine, if you guys didn't see that, he prides himself on his intelligence. He was very excited when he had a top 60 visit, a combine 60 visit with the Niners, and he bragged about that. And the Cowboys, he visited with both of them. He bragged about one of the things they asked him to do was break down tape, and he feels like he can break down tape better than a lot of people. So he's very confident in his abilities. So I'm very excited about him, about Kenneth Grant. I think it's a very realistic possibility that he could be a Chicago Bear at pick number 10. I know a lot of people still haven't been sold on that yet. A lot of people are still thinking the mock draft simulators are stuck where they are for a reason. You're going to see him climb higher and higher as it gets closer to the draft. You'll see everybody with him on their big boards. So I like him. We're talking about quarterbacks now. Quarterbacks in different spots. So I'm gonna wrap this up late at night. Just wanted to pop on. Sorry about the noise. Pop on and talk about Kenneth Grant for a minute. The pro day that happened, since I had all family weekend and I didn't get a chance to make this video, and I meant to all weekend. I'll get a mock draft out soon because I really don't think we're trading down from 10 anymore. I think we're going to take the best player we like available at number 10, and we're going to go from there. That's just personally what I think we're going to do. But you guys are free to chat and let me know in the comments what you think. Appreciate you guys. I'll have some more stuff tomorrow. Until next time, Dub Bears. Bear down. Bear down, sports making Chicago proud.